Okay, this is the start of Unit 7, and Unit 7 is kind of combining two things, multiplication and fractions. Now, we're not going to use the word multiplication, but really when you're talking about rows, columns, and arrays, that's what you're leading to. If we were in class, we'd spend more time talking about multiplication and how it's related to addition. Multiplication is just repeated addition. But we're going to do a couple of problems, and like we normally do, pause and try a few on your own. But as it's starting here, rows kind of go across, and columns go down. And depending on how you say that, it's a little bit confusing, but the thing that the way to remember this kind of is sometimes homes will have columns that are holding up like pieces of the porch or something. So I don't know. And then write equations for arrays. Write how many in each row and each column. Then write two equations for each array. So I'm saying over here, this is a row of 2 across, a row of 2 across, a row of 2 across, and it's a column of 3 and a column of 3. Okay, this right here is a row of 4 and a row of 4. It's a column of 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. And what you can do is start thinking about this as being multiplication. If you have 2 rows times 3 columns, that's going to give you a total of how many pairs? It's going to give you a total of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you could say 3 times 2 is equal to 6. Here you'd have 4 times 2 equal to how many stars? 8. Or you could say 2 times 4 is also equal to 8. Now I'm using multiplication here. You could also think about these in addition. You could say this would be 2 plus 2, if I'm using the columns, plus 2 plus 2 to give me a total of, again, 8. Okay? Now going to the other side. Measure in inches, draw rows and columns, write the number of small squares. So what we're doing for number 5, and I know you might have to dig around your homes for a ruler, and if you can't find one, you can just kind of eyeball it too. But first with inches, and what you're doing is partitioning or sectioning it off like this. And sometimes this is hard to do. Don't be frustrated. So I have 4 inches going this way, so 4 sections going this way. And then going down, I'm going to have 1. And I'm just going to go across here. And again, this is not going to be perfect squares, but that's the idea. And for this one, what you're doing is you're trying to get the idea of how many do I have going across, how many do I have going down. I have 4 going across, I have 2 down, therefore I could say 2 times 4 is going to give me a total of how many squares? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 2 times 4, 8. Or you could think about that in terms of addition and say, okay, this is 2 this way, plus 2 this way, plus 2 this way, plus 2 this way. And again, same thing, you're going to have a total of 8. So whether you want to think about this, next year you don't have a choice. You're going to have to think about this in multiplication. But this year you can think about multiplication as repeated addition. So I'll show you the answers to the couple when you get down here. Again, do your best, even if you don't have a ruler. Notice that when you get down to 7, you'll have centimeters. And that's it for today, or come back, check your work. Okay, so here are the answers. For number 6, we have a total of 6 squares. For number 7, you have a total of 12 squares. For number 8, you have a total of 16 squares. And then number 9, you have a total of 15 squares. Now what I did is I wrote you didn't have to do this, but I wrote the equations around it both as repeated addition, 2 plus 2 plus 2, or 3 plus 3. Well, if you think about this as being 3 2's, 3 times 2 is 6. Or if you think about it as being 2 3's, 3 times 2 is 6. So same concept as far as the same total, but one is thinking about as repeated addition, one multiplication. Same thing down here. You can pause and look at these if you wish. I'm not going to go ahead and read them all to you, but just know there's 2 ways to think about these. And the most important thing is that you got the correct total. So that's it for today.